Folks, we apologize for the technical difficulties we've been having with the broadcast tonight. We were trying to get ESPN Radio working as well. Unfortunately, that seems to be a tad bit out of our realm at the current moment. So for right now, we're going to stick with Hardhats-TV to give you tonight's action against Spearfish for your post-22 Hardhats. A lot has happened since the game started not too long ago. And that is all in part to the Hardhats taking a 2-1 lead over Spearfish. They're 2 men on and 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first inning, so we're still in our relatively early stages of the contest. Zach Jolis is making his season debut for the Hardhats tonight. And he's looked fairly confident on his breaking pitch, which he's used at the current moment to give a 1-2 count to Drew Gusso, the starting pitcher, who has 2 men on and 2 out here in the bottom of the first, looking to tie this ball game up for Spearfish. Jolis looking for his first punch out, and he just missed it somehow. That pitch was outside. He has a 2-2 count now against his pitching counterpart. This first inning is taking quite some time. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3, and that's going to do it. So we thought we'd at least give you that brief recap of everything that's gone on. We'll take a quick breather and be right back here on Hardhats-TV with the remainder of tonight's broadcast, the 5th game of the season for your post-22 Hardhats. Well, we're all set to pick up with the top half of the second inning here from Black Hills Power Sports Complex in Spearfish, South Dakota. Mark Benetti alongside you for tonight's internet broadcast here on Hardhats-TV. We are having some technical difficulties in executing our ESPN radio broadcast. Technology today, for some reason, seems to not want to agree with us. Well, the Hardhats ended up building themselves a 2-1 lead back in the first inning. Cooper Bowman led things off with a single and came around. Connor King reached on an error and also came around. And then three out of the next 4 were retired after that. So we'll start off with the bottom third of the Hardhats order, and that is going to bring us to Ryan Schmidt, the catcher, for a post-22. Schmidt steps in against the righty, Drew Gusso, and the righty chops at his first pitch, and it goes foul third base side. Schmidt to lead off this top half of the second. Comes in on the season with a 188 average. He has batted and played in all 5 games at the catcher position so far this season. No balls and a strike his count from Gusso. Just threw his 15th pitch of the ball game. The next one hits Gusso right in the leg. He bats it down. Throw to first is in time. My goodness, Gusso walking that one off. A very brave yet brilliant play defensively. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats. That'll bring us to Tyler McKnight, the third baseman. McKnight is making his Hardhats debut for post-22. And Gusso walks it off. Looks like he is good to go. And so McKnight steps in for his first at-bat as a Hardhat. Today, he is playing third base for post-22. And the first pitch, I'm sorry, they gave him a warm-up pitch. We're still trying to figure out our broadcast situation for ESPN right now. And right now, nothing seems to be cooperating with us on that front. Gusso getting a couple of warm-up pitches. He took a comebacker right to the thigh and trying to make sure that he's okay in his ability to launch off the mound. Post 22 coming in for their 5th game of the season tonight. They are a perfect 4-0, looking to improve to a perfect 5-0. You can thank a 3-game sweep of Spearfish of Cheyenne over the weekend for vaulting them to where they currently stand on their young parts of their season. 1 out here in the top of the second. And the Hardhats have a 2-1 lead. Now McKnight's going to step in for his first at-bat as a Hardhat. Gusso a full windup, and the first pitch is a called strike to McKnight, and he starts off with an 0-1 count. And the 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled back, and quickly he's behind 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to count. McKnight looking for his first hit in his first at-bat as a Hardhat. And the 0-2 is upstairs. A ball and 2 strikes now the count. McKnight will be followed by Carter Deming, the 9-hole hitter. And should the inning go past that gentleman, we'll go back to the top of the order to Cooper Bowman, who started off the scoring rally for the Hardhats in the last inning. McKnight looks at ball 2, low and away, and his count evens up 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the next pitch, check swing, and they're saying that he went. And that's going to be first strikeout of the ball game for Drew Gusso. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats in this top half of the second inning. That'll bring us to Carter Deming with the base path empty. So Deming steps in, the right-handed hitting second baseman for post 22. Deming batting 100 on the season. He looks at a first pitch strike inside, 0-1. And the 0-1 misses low, and his count will even up to a ball and a strike. You're going to have to bear with me just a bit here, folks. We're still trying to figure out our technology situation here for ESPN Rapid City. We're trying to get on the airwaves with this game tonight. Next pitch to Deming is swung on, and that's hit high in the air to left field. Underneath it, Garnis, and Garnis makes a catch sprawling to the turf, and that is going to end it. Well, the Hardhats are retired 1-2-3 in the book, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played an inning and a half of 9 of regulation tonight, and the Hardhats still have a 2-1 lead. We're going to take another step aside here on Hardhats-TV, and we'll bring you the bottom half of the second.
Coke Zero goes.
Looks like we have almost solved our ESPN radio problems. We are now to the bottom half of the second inning here as Zach Cholis, in his season debut for the Hardhats, retakes the mound for post 22. The lefty will look into the bottom three in the Spearfish order, starting off with Cameron Cook, the first baseman. And his first pitch nearly hit him. And skips to the backstop. 1-0 the count for Cameron Cook. It'll be Cook, the first baseman, followed by Logan Ammerman, the second baseman, and then Taylor Woods, the center fielder. Cholis will go full windup here. And the lefty deals the 1-0. Swung on and missed. And the count evens up now to a ball and a strike. One on one the count. And the pitch is a breaking ball outside. 2-1. And the 2-1 catches the outside as well, and that'll be 2-2 now from Cholis to Cook. We just started the bottom half of the second. Hardhats have a 2-1 lead. We apologize for the delay in the broadcast on both ESPN and Hardhats-TV. 2-2 swung on, hit high in the air to right center field. King charges from center. He calls for it, and he makes the catch. F8 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down, and that will bring us to Logan Ammerman, the second baseman. And first pitch from Cholis is a strike to Ammerman, 0-1. And the next pitch misses, and that'll be 1-1. Ball and a strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And Cholis hit him in the bucket. And Ammerman will advance to first. So 1 out, a free batter, allowed free passage. And that is going to bring us to Taylor Woods, the center fielder. And so now Taylor Woods comes up. Cholis takes a look at the man on first and his first pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count here to Woods with a man on and 1 out. Double play in effect to end the inning. And the next pitch, called strike. And it's 0-2 now to Woods. And the next pitch is a called strike 3. And so that's Cholis' first strikeout for the second out of the inning. And back to the top of the order we go to Taylor Genevieve. And his first pitch is a strike. 0-1 the count to Genevieve. He led off the bottom half of the first with a double. One his count. Next pitch, swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes now for Janovy. And the 1-2. Swung on, ball is hit right up the middle. Bowman gets the stop and the toss to second, and that'll do it. 6-4 in the books. No runs, hits, or errors. 1 man left on base. We finished 2. And the Hardhats still have a 2-1 lead, and we'll be right back on Hardhats-TV. It's back to the top of the order we go to Cooper Bowman now for the Hardhats as we start off the top of the third. And his first pitch is swung on and ripped into left field for a base hit, and just like that, he's 2 for 2 with a pair of leadoff singles. So King comes up. He reached on an error the first time he was up. Check to first. Bowman's back. Gusso looks into King, still on the mound. And the first pitch to King. Misses low and away, ball 1. And the 1-0 misses, and it's 2-0 to King. And the 2-0's low and inside, 3-0. And the next pitch to King is swung on, and that drops into left center field for a base hit. Bowman's going to round second and head to third. King's going to round to second, and he is safe. Everybody advanced 2 bases on that one. And so now, Bowman's on third, and King is on second. Still trying to figure out how they're going to score that. And Weaver now up. They're going to call that a hit, so we're going to rule that one a double. First pitch to Weaver is high for ball one. He has two men in scoring position and a chance to really blow this open here. And the next pitch to Weaver is fouled, and it's quickly 2-1 to the Hardhats right fielder. Weaver fouls off his next pitch, 2-2. With two men in scoring position, and no one out here in the top half of the third. And the next pitch is fouled again, 2-2. Two-two to Weaver. Swung on and pop foul again. That'll go over our press box, and it's still even at 2. Still dealing with technical difficulties here for our mainline broadcast, so that's why everything's a tad bit disjointed. We're still trying to figure out some things. 2-2 is, or sorry, that was a full count. The scoreboard was incorrect, so we've got a walk here and the bases are loaded. First pitch to Jace Caldwell, the DH, is fouled. So he starts off 0-1. Caldwell had a sac fly RBI in the first inning. He has the bases loaded here. No one out in the top of the third. Hardhats with a 2-1 lead and a chance to really blow it open. And the next pitch missed the zone, 1-1. Next pitch to Caldwell, swung on, hit high in the air to center. Charging it from center is Woods. And Woods is able to make the catch, but that's going to knock in Bowman again. Another sac fly RBI for Jace Caldwell. And the Hardhats now have a 3-1 lead with men on the corners. And one out here in the top of the third. So King advanced all the way to third. Weaver stayed on first, so it's men on the corners, one out here for Jack Sorensen, the DH. Well, now we transition to the bottom of the third while we're near the end of our technical difficulty struggle here. And it's 2, 3, and 4 due up for Spearfish. Cody Garnis will start off for Spearfish. And he fouls off a pitch. Ball and a strike to count. And that one's high. It's 2-1. And he drills that one into center for a base hit. Runner goes and steals as Laux is now up. 1-1 the count there, and Garnett steals. So now it's a man on second with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Apologize for the delay in talking, folks. We've got a whole bunch of technical problems we're trying to fix here. And a new pitcher on the mound as well. As now jumping in for the Hardhats. Looks like Chola's evening came to an end. We're still trying to figure out who exactly is on the mound for post 22. And that pitch is low and away for Connor Glassford. We're going to step aside. Well, it looks like we finally have everything figured out. I apologize for the delay in getting us on the air, but it looks like we are finally on, and we're finally good. Hopefully. We'll have to see what happens. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City as we are now in the middle of the bottom of the third. The Spearfish just tied it up against Post 22. With 2 runs. There's only 1 out. Men are on first and second here in this inning. Jake Goebel took over for starter Zach Cholas. First pitch from Goebel is a called strike now to Cameron Cook, the first baseman, and it's 0-1. Cook is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flew out to center field. And he has a chance to give Spearfish their first lead of the ball game with a man in scoring position right now. Here comes the 0-1. That misses low and away. Schmidt with a nice block behind home plate. It's 1-1. The Hardhats took an early 2-0 lead. Spearfish countered with a run in the bottom of the first. Both teams failed to score in the second frame, and then in the top of the third, the Hardhats got a run on the board, but now it's Spearfish here with 2 runs to have tied it. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors charged to the Hardhats. 1-1 from Goebel, swung on and missed. And Cook is now behind a ball and 2 strikes. We are finally live on ESPN Rapid City, 1340 AM, 105.7 FM, and as well on Hardhats-TV. Goebel's 1-2. Missed low and away, and the count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cook. And we apologize again for the technical difficulties. Things just wouldn't work out for us for a while. It looks like everything is finally figured out. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Jake Goebel gets his first strikeout as a Hardhat. That'll be 2 down now for Spearfish on offense. That brings us to Logan Ammerman, the second baseman. Ammerman in the ball game was hit by a pitch. The left-handed hitting second baseman took one right off the bucket from Zach Cholas. His first pitch is swung on and missed. Goebel ahead 0-1. Goebel came in for Zach Cholas, who only managed to go 2 innings. He threw 47 pitches in the start. His first start of the year. 0-1 from Goebel is high and away, and it's a ball and a strike now for Ammerman. Cholas, by the way, struck out 2, walked 2, allowed a run that was earned on a hit in 2 innings and 47 pitches. Goebel has pitched this entire bottom half of the third. 1-1 to Ammerman, high and away, and it's 2-1. Taylor Woods, the center fielder's on deck if he keeps the inning going. Hardhats and Spearfish tied up at 3 right now, as we finally have everything working. 2-1. Swung on, and the ball is fouled. And Ammerman is now in a 2-2 deadlock against Goebel. Goebel looking to get out of the inning and keep this tie game going into the top of the fourth. And the 2-2 is high and away, and that'll bring the count full. And the payoff pitch coming from Goebel out of the stretch is inside for ball 4. So a 2-out walk will now load the bases up for Taylor Woods, the center fielder. And now Spearfish has a glorious opportunity to try and take their first lead of the ball game here. And so we go to Woods, who struck out his first time up. And the pitch catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. 0-1 here to Woods. He struck out on 3 pitches. The final strikeout that Cholas handed out. And the 0-1. Inside and high. Ball and a strike. 1-1 the count here to Woods. If he keeps the inning going here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third, then Spearfish will have their first lead. We're tied at 3. He has the bases loaded. 1-1. High and inside, 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Goebel trying to get out of the jam, making his Hardhats debut in relief. And the 2-1. This is low and away. 3 balls and a strike now to the Spearfish center fielder. The next pitch is not a strike, and Spearfish has the lead. 3-1 from Goebel. Low and away, ball 4. And so that is an RBI walk for Taylor Woods. And that now makes it a 4-3 Spearfish lead. And back to the top of the order we will go. Spearfish has officially hit through the lineup. Taylor Janovi, the shortstop, comes up with a chance to blow this lead open even more. First pitch from Goebel. Swung on, ball is hit high in the air to left. Holden Jackson's tracking. He's underneath it, and Jackson makes the catch, and that's going to end the threat. Well, Spearfish batted through the lineup. They end up plating 3 runs on the power of 2 hits. There were no errors charged to the Hardhats, and the bases were left loaded. So we have played 3, and the Hardhats lead is no more. They trail 4-3 heading into the top of the 4th with Holden Jackson to lead us off. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks, here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Well, we had one heck of a disaster cleanup earlier, and that was getting our broadcast on the air. Special thanks to Ian Rambo for the support back at the station. Just couldn't seem to get a program to work, at least on my side of things, and now we finally have everything in order. So for those that just joined us, we apologize for the technical difficulties in getting us on here, but here is exactly what has happened. The Hardhats took the lead to start off this ball game at 2-1 through 1 inning, had a 3-1 lead at the end of 2.5. Spearfish then played at 3 in the inning we just finished, the bottom half of the 3rd, and now they have a 4-3 lead. We'll start off with 6, 7, and 8 in the Hardhats order here in the top of the 4th on ESPN Rapid City, as Drew Gusso will take a look at Holden Jackson, who ended the top half of the 1st with a fly out to center field. Jackson playing in left field tonight, and his first pitch is swung on, and it's chopped to 3rd, right to short. Stops made on the play by Janovi, and he's not going to have a play at first. I would credit that one as an infield hit. And so Jackson's going to lead things off with an infield single, and that will bring us to the catcher, Ryan Schmidt. Schmidt's 0 for 1, grounded out right to the pitcher back in the top half of the 2nd. That was a 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats offensively. Schmidt, a right-handed batter, has a man on first and no one out here. In the top half of the 4th, his first pitch is swung on and hit high in the air to left center. Taylor Woods tracks from center, comes in and he makes the catch. So 1 pitch, and Schmidt's retired. There's still a man on first and 1 out. And that'll bring us to Tyler McKnight, the 3rd baseman who earlier tonight officially made his Hardhats debut. McKnight struck out, though, in his first at-bat. He's playing at 3rd base tonight. McKnight steps into the batter's box, and Jackson is back on first safe as he's checked down by Gusso. First pitch, swung on, and that ball's pushed to 2nd. Stops made on the play by Ammerman, and the throw to first is in time. So McKnight grounds out, and that will allow Holden Jackson to advance to 2nd. So a fielder's choice there. 2 down with a man in scoring position. That'll bring us to the 9-hole hitter in Carter Deming. Deming 0 for 1. Got his first hit of the season the last game he played, which was against Cheyenne on Sunday morning. He went 1 for 3 with a walk as well and a single. Gusso to second. First pitch is at the letters for ball 1. Deming trying to keep this inning going as the Hardhats are trailing by a 4-3 score. 2 outs, top of the 4th. And the next pitch to Deming catches the inside part of the plate for strike 1, and his count evens up at a ball and a strike. Jackson takes his lead off second. Gusso gives him a look. 1-1 pitch is fouled by Deming, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 now the count for Deming, trying to keep the inning going. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball is hit to third. Stop is made on the play, and the easy tag is applied, and that's going to do it. So the 5 unassisted fielder's choice ends that. And the Hardhats get no runs on a leadoff hit with no errors. 1 man left on the base path, technically speaking. We've played 3.5, and the Hardhats now trail 4-3 to Spearfish as we transition to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Spearfish will showcase 2, 3, and 4 to start off. Cody Garnis leads off. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV with the bottom half of the 4th inning from Spearfish. Energy Stadium. Post 22 trailing 4-3 to Spearfish. As we head now to the bottom half of the 4th inning. And Spearfish will have Cody Garnis, the left fielder, lead off. Garnis is 1 for 2 in the ballgame. He started off a rally in which everybody in the order got to see an at-bat, or at least a plate appearance. He singled to start it off, then stole a base, came around to score eventually. And what was a 3-run inning on 2 hits for Spearfish. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball on 105.7 FM and on 1340 AM. Jake Goebel is back on the mound for Post 22, his 2nd inning of relief in his Hardhats debut. He took over for Zach Cholos, who last year with the Hardhats played in 10 games and went 4-1. In 28 2/3 innings with a 4.64 ERA and 34 strikeouts to 22 walks. Goebel pitched 34 innings in his 1st inning of relief. And his first pitch to Garnis, who led off against him last time, is outside for ball 1. Garnis, Laux, and Glassford due up for Spearfish. And the 1-0 is low and away. 2 balls, no strikes now to Garnis. Post 22 trailing 4-3. Here in their 5th game of the season. Perfect start on the line right now. Full windup for Goebel is a fastball called strike outside corner. And now it's 2 balls and a strike to the Spearfish left fielder. Next pitch is fouled off. 2-2. Now to Garnis. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. As Goebel is looking for his 2nd strikeout in his Hardhats debut. Full windup for Goebel. 2-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3. And that is strikeout number 2 for Jake Goebel. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. That'll bring us to the catcher, Parker Laux, who's 0 for 1 with a walk in this ballgame. Very well-placed pitch there by Goebel. And the first pitch from Goebel to Laux is over his head for ball 1. Ball and no strikes the count, and the 1-0 to the catcher. is at his letters. 2 balls, no strikes. Here comes the 2-0. Swung on and missed. Laux is now behind, or excuse me, still ahead, 2-1. And here comes the 2-1 from Goebel. High and inside, buzzes the tower. It's 3-1. Connor Glassford on deck, regardless of what happens in this at-bat. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. The Hardhats trying to keep this a 4-3 deficit. 3-1 from Goebel is high and inside for ball 4. So Laux is issued a free pass, a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up Glassford. And if there's any silver lining to that, then the double play is in effect to end the inning. So Glassford comes up. He still does not have an official at-bat. He had a sac fly RBI and a walk. Came around to score in the last inning. Laux takes his lead off of first. Goebel will pitch from the stretch. A check to first. It's not there. And so safely back at first is Parker Laux. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning here from Black Hills Energy Stadium in Spearfish. And the Hardhats trail Spearfish by a 4-3 score. First pitch, swung on it. It's hit high in the air, foul territory, first base side. And Caldwell, playing over at first, watches it sail over the fence. And the count starts off 0-1 for the Spearfish third baseman and cleanup hitter. No balls and a strike to count. Another check to first, and it's not there in time, but oh boy, was that close. Goebel trying to catch Laux asleep at the switch over there. He gives him another stare from the mound, and from the stretch deals the 0-1 as the runner goes. Throw to second on the play is in time. He caught him stealing. That was brilliant from Ryan Schmidt from behind home plate, and a great jump for Laux as well. But wow, was that a solid play. That pitch was also called a strike, by the way. We didn't see anything from the umpire to signal that it was a strike, and then Glassford fouls off his next pitch, so it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count here to Glassford. As now there are 2 outs, and Goebel can end this on his next 0-2 pitch. And it's low and away. We'll have to wait another 1-2. Top of the order due up for the Hardhats in the top of the 5th. Should Goebel get the strike here? 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And the ball was dropped, and the throw to first is there, and that'll end it. So, no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base for Spearfish. And at the end of 4 innings, the Hardhats still trail by a 4-3 score as we head to the top of the 5th with the top of the order and a red-hot 2-for-2 Cooper Bowman coming up. 2 for 2 for number 22, and you get to see it at the top of the 5th here on the official radio home of the Hardhats on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We've played 4 innings, and as it stands through 4 frames, the Hardhats trail by a 4-3 score against Spearfish in their 5th game of the season. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats: it's 3 runs on 5 hits with no errors on defense. And on the other side for Spearfish, it's 4 runs on 3 hits with 1 blemish in the field. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City on 105.7 FM and 1340 AM, and we thank everybody so much for their patience. We had some technical errors in getting prepared for our broadcast here. Hardhats-TV was working, but then my attention was pulled away trying to put out another fire, and then when you put out that fire, another one starts. So thanks, everybody, for the patience. We'll go back to the top of the Hardhats order, and Cooper Bowman now up. And, boy, is he red hot tonight. 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and 2 runs scored. He ripped the first pitch he saw on the top of the third to left. Has only seen a total of 6 pitches in this ballgame. Drew Gusso still on the mound, the starter for Spearfish, and his first pitch is a breaking ball up high, 1-0. Ball and no strikes to count to the hard-hat shortstop. And a full windup for Gusso. And that pitch is inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Cooper Bowman on the season batting .375 heading into this game. And he's 2 for 2 tonight, so that average is going to go up a decent bit, especially in the early stages of this season. 2-0. That's high at his letters. 3 balls, no strikes. Gusso just threw his 52nd pitch. Very efficient. He's averaging just over 10 pitches per inning. Full windup for Gusso. Here's the 3-0. And that's at the knees of Cooper Bowman for strike 1, and it's 3-1. Bowman, King, and Weaver, as I mentioned, the top order of the order for the Hardhats. Full windup for Gusso, and the 3-1 pitch is upstairs for ball 4. So Bowman has issued a leadoff walk. And that's now going to bring us to the left-handed hitting center fielder, Connor King, with a man on first and no one out here in the top of the 5th. Our game is just over an hour and 10 minutes old. We started at 5:53, so we got a little early on this one. It's supposed to be a 6 o'clock start. Gusso will pitch from the stretch, and his first pitch to King skips to home plate, and he starts off with a 1-0 count. King on the ball game is 1 for 2, reached on an error in the first and came around to score, and then he doubled in the top of the third, but was stranded on third. Inning-ending double play did not allow him to come around. 1-0 pitch. And that skips through the 5-hole of Parker Laux, and that's going to allow Cooper Bowman to take advantage of second. So the pass ball will send Bowman in scoring position. It's 2-0 now for Connor King with a man at scoring position and no one out. We're in the top of the 5th. The tying run is now in scoring position for the Hardhats. They trail 4-3. And Gusso deals. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air into left. Charging for it is Cody Garnis, and he makes the catch. Bowman's going to stay put at second as the first out of the inning has been registered. It's F7 in the book, and it's Connor King. 1 down, still a man in scoring position, and that'll bring us to Alex Weaver, who is switched in this ballgame from left field to right, with Holden Jackson being put not only in the batting order but also in the defensive alignment for the Hardhats. Alex Weaver in the ballgame is 0 for 1, a ground out to third and a walk. And here's his first pitch. Swung on, and the ball's hit foul. And I believe that's going to thud behind our booth. And we can't hear the thud, but we know it's behind us, so 0-1 is where Weaver starts off. Bowman, the man on second, he will now take his lead as Weaver steps back in. Righty on righty matchup with Gusso on the mound. He'll pitch from the stretch. And the 0-1. Swung on, and that ball's ripped into left. Garnis is underneath it, and he makes the routine catch. So now 2 down for the Hardhats. Both plays to left field. And that's now going to bring us to the cleanup hitter, Jace Coldwell, the first baseman. Coldwell coming into this game batting .308. And he is, doesn't really have an official at-bat yet. He has a pair of sac fly RBIs. Both of them to center field. And the first pitch to Coldwell, yet to come. Gusso deals. Swung on, and that ball is hit to short. It drops on the play to Janovi, and his throw to first is dropped. And Coldwell is safe. That is an E3. And that keeps this inning going as Bowman advances to third. Janovi had a good throw. It was just dropped. So that is definitely an E3. Second error of the ballgame for Spearfish defense, and that keeps the inning going now to the DH, Jack Sorensen. That was an unfortunate sequence there, and now Sorensen has a chance to keep this game going and possibly tie it up. First pitch to Sorensen, ripped into left for a base hit. Cooper Bowman's going to come home and score, as it's a 2-out RBI single for Jack Sorensen, and we are tied at 4 runs aside. Caldwell advances to second. Bowman comes in to score, and that error now insanely costly. As you take a look at Cameron Cook over there at first, he was just snaring that ball. Not even a half a second away from ending the inning. Instead, it goes one more batter, and the first pitch Sorensen sees, he cranks out in the left. We have a mound visit now for Spearfish coaching and Gusso on the mound. Gusso, a very gifted athlete. He's been with the Spearfish team for quite some time. As far as I can remember calling post-22 baseball, this is my 4th year now, so that kind of makes sense. But very gifted. He can play just about any position, and he does have a great arm on the mound. He has thrown 61 pitches in this start. He is the only pitcher that Spearfish has utilized in this game. And now he's going to take a look at Holden Jackson, the left fielder. Jackson 1 for 2, had a leadoff single to start off the top of the 4th, but he was stranded in scoring position. His first pitch, a called strike right at his belt, and he's behind 0-1. So Jackson has men on first and second here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th, and now all of a sudden we're tied. Hardhats run on a hit with an error charged to Spearfish. Next pitch from Gusso misses low and away, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Later on in the broadcast, we're going to have a very special guest joining me. We're not going to put him on the spot and make him call play-by-play, but he's going to talk to us about some baseball. 1-1 pitch to Jackson, swung on, hit to short. Janovi the stop. He'll get the easy tag at second, and that is going to do it. So the Hardhats, thanks to a late error here in this top of the 5th, tie the ball game up. A run on a hit with 1 error charged to Spearfish and 2 men left. And at the end of 4 1/2, we've officially played half the ball game, and we are tied at 4 runs aside. Spearfish has 5, 6, and 7 due up when we come back with the bottom of the 5th here on the official radio home of the Hardhats on ESPN Rapid City and online on Hardhats-TV. Well, the Hardhats transition from offense to defense, and now we get set for the bottom half of the 5th inning. And it looks like there has been a pitching change for post 22. We just need to catch a license plate to see who exactly is on the mound for the Hardhats. And it looks like that is Branson Keel. So Branson Keel now on the mound for post 22. This will be his 2nd appearance of the season. 2 strikeouts to 4 walks. Only 2 innings of work under his belt. So he takes over for Jake Goebel. Goebel ended up going 2 innings. And so now Keel will lead off against Zach Kozel. Spearfish right fielder looks at a first pitch high and inside for ball 1. Kozel 1 for 1, a ribby single and a run scored. Also was issued a free pass with a walk. Full windup for Keel, the tall right-hander, And the pitch swung on and fouled. And Kozel's count is now a ball and a strike. Kozel followed by Drew Gusso, the pitcher, and Cameron Cook, the first baseman. All 3 gentlemen due up a combined 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. 1-1 from Keel. Called strike, a fastball at the knees, and it's 1-2. So Keel making his 2nd appearance as a Hardhat. Off to a pretty good start so far. Here comes the 1-2. And that misses low, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Zach Kozel. Spearfish right fielder. his first time leading off an inning in this game. 2 balls and 2 strikes his count. Full windup for Keel, and the righty deals. 2-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Branson Keel gets his first strikeout of this ball game. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. That will bring us to the pitcher, Drew Gusso. Gusso 0 for 1 with a strikeout, the first of 2 Zach Cholas strikeouts, and a walk as well. And Keel's first pitch is fouled over our press box, and it's 0-1. By the way, Goebel ended up going 2 innings. He allowed 3 runs, all earned on 2 hits. He walked 5 and struck out 3. Next pitch from Keel misses low, and now Gusso's count evens up at a ball and a strike. And Goebel did it all, by the way, on 49 pitches. So the pitches per inning average not the greatest here for the Hardhats through 4 innings and 2 pitchers. 1-1 from Keel. Swung on and fouled off the face mask of Ryan Schmidt, the catcher. And it's 1-2. Schmitty, as he is referred to in the dugout, seems to be all right. We're about to talk with a former catcher ourselves. Ball and 2 strikes the count. And Keel deals. That's low and inside. 2-2. Cameron Cook, the first baseman's on deck. No one on the base path here for Gusso, and 1 out in the bottom of the 5th, all square at 4. And Keel from the windup. Caught him looking, strike 3. And that's back-to-back strikeouts for Branson Keel to start off the bottom half of the 5th. Base path empty, 2 down. That'll bring us to Cameron Cook. Cook is 0 for 2. Also has a strikeout under his belt. That was 1 of 3 issued by Jake Goebel. First pitch from Keel. Called strike right at the belt of Cook, and it's 0-1. Hardhats have yet to register a 1-2-3 inning on defense. 1 to 2 pitches potentially away from accomplishing that task. Full windup for Keel. Here comes the 0-1. Called strike again. And quickly, Cameron Cook is behind, 0-2. Pitch away from falling victim to a strikeout for a second time in this ballgame. Keel looking for 3 Ks in a row. 0-2 pitch. Low and inside. And it's 1-2. Hardhats have the bottom third of the order due up in the top of the 6th. But Cook needs to be retired first before we get there. 1-2 from Keel. Upstairs, 2-2. Cook again is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly out to center. Looking for his first hit of this ballgame. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Keel delivers. Up high and inside, and the count goes full. So give Cook some credit to exercise some patience. He has battled now to a full count. Branson Keel takes his time. Full windup. Payoff pitch. High and inside. Ball 4. So a 2-out walk is issued to Cook. And that will now bring us to Logan Ammerman, the left-handed hitting second baseman. Ammerman has 2 free passes in the ballgame, so has yet to receive an official at-bat. Hit by a pitch right off his bucket in the bottom of the 2nd, walked in the bottom of the 3rd. He has a man on with 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. We're square at 4. And Keel from the stretch. Called strike at the knees of Ammerman. It's 0-1. Keel very patient on the mound. This is only the 2nd time this season we've seen him. Very patient. Let's see if he jumbles up his rhythm here a bit to keep the runner guessing. 0-1 is outside, and the count evens up to 1-1. Rhythm, timing, it's all a big part of this this show that we watch, especially on the mound. He's the only player 9 times out of 10 that has the ball. He dictates the pace. Ball and a strike the count. Keel takes a look at first, and he deals. And that just misses the outside corner, and it's 2-1 to the left-handed hitting Ammerman. So Ammerman's looking for an official at-bat here. A hit by pitch and a walk. So he's technically 0 for 0. Keel from the stretch. 2-1, swung on and missed. May have taken something off that. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. Taylor Woods, the center fielder, is on deck if Ammerman keeps the inning going. If not, 7, 8, 9 due up for the Hardhats in the top of the 6th. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled to the meshing in front of us. Even though I know I'm protected by that meshing, I still flinch every now and then. Our special guest who's about to come on in the next inning understands that, as he gives me at least a smile of approval, I think. 2-2 the count as Keel has a man on base to deal with, and now he steps off the rubber. He'll take some time to think. Keel, behind him, he is a righty, so his back faces first, has Cameron Cook on first. He is looking 60 feet 6 inches ahead of him at Logan Ammerman, the left-handed hitting second baseman. 2 balls and 2 strikes is his count, and now Ammerman calls time. It's a fun game of pace sometimes. 2-2 the count. 2 outs, a man on, bottom of the 5th. We're tied at 4 between Spearfish and the Hardhats. Keel from the stretch. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit right up the middle. Bowman gets it from short, tags the bag, and that'll do it. So the Hardhats get out of the inning unscathed. No runs or hits or errors charged to the Hardhats. There was 1 man left. And at the end of 5 full innings of play, we're still deadlocked at 4 aside. We have a very special guest joining us on the airways as we start off the top of the 6th in a few moments. Here on the official radio home of the Hardhats on ESPN Rapid City and streamed on Hardhats-TV. He was my intern with the Rapid City Rush, and his hard work earned him an opportunity to get his first play-by-play opportunity in a sport that he knows and loves, which is baseball. I am joined by the voice of the Spearfish Sasquatch, Adam Birch. When I say that, what in the heck goes through your mind?
Oh, man, it's just a great opportunity that I'm blessed with, and I'm just blessed for the opportunity and working with you, and I owe a lot of it to you.
Well, don't give me too much credit. You're the baseball guy out of the two of us. I work in hockey. We've got the first batter up. That's Ryan Schmidt. His first pitch is hit way deep to left, and it's caught on the play by Cody Garnis. So 1 pitch, 1 up, 1 down to bring us to Tyler McKnight. So you've been taking all this time to get ready for this moment. Spearfish Sasquatch, they start at the end of this month. What's it been like getting ready for all this?
Oh, it's been crazy. The first year of the team, we're just starting to get players in town, and they should be arriving any minute now, and we're just getting everything going and pocket schedules between sponsors and everything else.
Tyler McKnight fouls off his first pitch. He's behind 0-1. And the next pitch is swung on and missed, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Now, you were telling me earlier, none of the players have gotten in town yet, right?
Right.
So when's all that going to start?
Well, they should be arriving next weekend. I think I heard that they're arriving.
Next pitch to McKnight is upstairs. He checked his swing. So now a ball and 2 strikes to the Hardhats third baseman, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. We're joined with Adam Birch, who is going to be calling play-by-play for the Spearfish Sasquatch in the new Expedition League this summer. 1-2 to McKnight, low and inside, and his count evens up at 2-2. So do we know any specifics, any rules of this league? Is it going to be 9 innings, 7 innings? What do you know about it?
I believe it's 9-inning games, and we have 32 home games, 32 away games, and other than that, baseball rules.
2-2 to McKnight's low, and his count goes full. College players from all over. It seems like a very diverse group just looking at the roster.
Yeah, all over. We have some from out west in Washington, California, Oregon.
McKnight swings and misses, and he strikes out. 2 down now for the Hardhats with nobody on to bring us to Carter Deming. So, yeah, from especially the Pacific Northwest in particular.
Yeah, from Gonzaga and Lewis and Clark State, and a vast majority of players from all over, and some local players as well.
Now, we were talking about a couple of post-22 alumni on that team. Carter Deming's first pitch is swung on and drilled to left. That's going to drop for a 2-out single. So Deming takes his position on first base with 2 outs. That brings us back to the red-hot Cooper Bowman at the top of the order. Bowman came in to score all 3 times he was on the base path. 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and a walk issued as well. So with respect to that, you mentioned a couple of schools that you don't necessarily know for baseball. How much of a spread is there between Division I and NAIA and in between?
You know, I don't know that much about it. I would guess it's a majority of well competition at all levels, and obviously they want to move on to the next level and get some recognition.
Bowman looks at a first pitch inside for strike 1. His next pitch is strike 2 called. The ball was dropped. Deming takes off for second, and he is safe. So Deming takes advantage of second. So now it's a man in scoring position, but Bowman in a very rare spot, down 2 strikes. With 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, the go-ahead run now in scoring position. We're here with Adam Birch, who will be calling play-by-play for the Spearfish Sasquatch this summer. 0-2. Swung on, and that ball's drilled into center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Deming gets the green light. He rounds third. He's going to come in to score. A 2-out RBI single for Cooper Bowman. Red hot tonight, and the Hardhats are back on top with a 5-4 lead and a man on first with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Now, Adam, I was telling you prior to the start of this game, you needed to watch out for Cooper Bowman. 6 innings in the books. What do you think?
Oh, man, he's a heck of a player. He's got 3 hits and a walk to his credit.
And now Connor King comes up, and the first pitch he sees is low and inside for ball 1. As we mentioned with Adam, there are some post-22 alumni on the Sasquatch team. Riley McSherry, Zach Solano, Cody Carlson. So 3 very gifted baseball players. 1-0 to King, called inside strike, and it's a ball and a strike now to the left-handed hitting center fielder for post-22, who's 1 for 3 with a double, also reached on an error and came around to score when reaching on that error. 1-1 pitch. Bowman goes, swung on. That ball's drilled into the gap and right. That's going to drop for a base hit. Bowman comes in to third, and they give him the green light. He rounds third. He's coming home, and they're going to hang on to the ball, and Bowman scores. A 2-out RBI single for Connor King, and now it's a 6-4 Hardhats lead with a man on first and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
He's got a bad end, got some wheels on him.
Well, wait until you see his glove. Here comes Alex Weaver, now the right fielder for the Hardhats. Weaver on the ball game 0 for 2, and also walked. His first pitch, a called strike at his knees. 0-1 the count here to Weaver. Man on first for the Hardhats, a 2-out rally going. Starting off with Carter Deming, a single, came around. Bowman, a single, also came around. Next pitch to Weaver is hit into foul territory and out of play. And so now he's behind 0-2. To, I believe, Braden Baker. So 0-2 the count to Alex Weaver. King goes, and the pitch is swung on and fouled. And all that hard work, King's got to go back to first. So no balls and 2 strikes to count. King takes his lead off first, and they check him back. So you very involved with baseball your whole life.
Yeah, I've been ever since little, and then all the way up to playing Legion ball. I enjoyed the catcher position.
Which is weird because you're so freakishly tall. You would think you'd play first base, but you like the catcher for some reason.
Yeah, you're involved in the game in every aspect of it, and it's just a fun position.
Ball and 2 strikes as the pitch missed the zone to a Weaver. King takes his lead off first. 1-2 is swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to center. Underneath it is Woods. He comes in to make the catch, and that'll end the top half of the 6th. Well, the Hardhats end up getting 2 runs on the power of 3 hits. No errors charged to Spearfish, and we had 1 man left on the base path. We've played 5.5, and the Hardhats now have the lead back. With 2 runs in the inning, it's now a 6-4 lead. We're joined with Adam Birch as well of the Spearfish Sasquatch. We're going to take a quick breather and chat more with him and watch more Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Earlier in our broadcast, we had a major disaster cleanup. Nothing was working on our systems. We didn't get on the air until I think the bottom of the 4th inning. But luckily everything works now, and the Hardhats are back on top. They have a 6-4 lead. Branson Keel back on the mound for post 22. Keel will take on 9-1-2 in the order. And that starts off with Taylor Woods, the center fielder. Keel, a tall right-handed pitcher. Full windup for his first pitch, and that hit him. And Taylor Woods takes a leadoff hit by pitch. So the leadoff man's on. That'll bring us back to the top of the order to Taylor Janovi. We're joined by the voice of the Spearfish Sasquatch. He was my intern with the Rapid City Rush and now has his first opportunity to broadcast as a pro, Adam Birch. We were talking about the Expedition League and about his baseball background, and despite how freakishly tall he is, he likes the catcher position. First pitch to Janovi. He shows bunt, and did he foul it? Yes, he fouled it. And he starts off 0-1. Janovi has since moved to the mound. He started off at the shortstop position, which I believe is now occupied by Drew Gusso. No balls and a strike to count. Now to the Spearfish relief pitcher. His next pitch misses low. Schmidt gets the block, and it's now a ball and a strike. So what was it about? I mean, you're talking about how catcher's so involved in everything, but was that what drew you to the position?
Yeah, really. It's versus standing out in outfield doing nothing and being involved in every pitch. It's just fun.
Take that, outfielders. I played outfield for a little bit, so I'm borderline offended. 1-1 pitch, called strike. Ball and 2 strikes now to Taylor Janovi with a man on and no one out here. In the bottom of the 6th, the Hardhats with a 2-run lead. Although I did like middle infield much better when they moved me there. Second and shortstop, I like that.
Especially at a younger age, standing out in outfield is rather boring.
That is fair. That is very fair. Janovi fouls off his next pitch, so his count holds at 1-2. That was almost, we saw that in Little League as kind of if you weren't good, and I wasn't the greatest baseball player, they just kind of stuck you out there and you were an afterthought. Here comes the 1-2. Inside, caught him looking, strike 3. Janovi didn't like the call. And Keel now has his 3rd strikeout in 6 batters of relief. 1 down, still a man on. That'll bring us to Cody Garnis, the left fielder. Garnis on the ball game is 1 for 3 with a single and a strikeout as well. It's the second of 3 Jake Goebel strikeouts. First pitch, low and inside, ball 1. 1-0. So did you play catcher when you started really getting serious with baseball? Was that your position? Did you move anywhere else?
Not a whole lot. I played a little bit of outfield, but when wasn't catching. But yeah, once I really got serious about it, I basically just tried out for it, and yeah.
Swing and a miss there for Garnis, and it's a ball and a strike now to the Spearfish left fielder. How was your bat?
Not the greatest.
That makes 2 of us. Known more for your intellect and your glove, not necessarily the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Keel takes his time on the mound from the stretch. 1-1 pitch. Called strike. Great movement on that pitch. 1-2. Now to Garnis. Garnis has a man on first and 1 out now. Here in the bottom half of the 6th, the Hardhats looking to protect a 6-4 lead, and we have Adam Birch of the Spearfish Sasquatch with us on the air. My intern during the hockey season, a pro in the baseball season now. Here comes the 1-2, and that's high and inside, and the count evens out at 2-2. What kind of a game did you call behind home plate? Or did you not call the game? Did you take the coaching signals from the dugout?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of signals.
Gotcha. Here comes the 2-2. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And it is a free pass. I think the technical term for that is a defensive indifference. As Woods takes second, Garnis strikes out. That is now 4 strikeouts for Branson Keel. 2 in a row again. And that's going to bring us to Parker Laux, the catcher, with a man in scoring position and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Hardhats trying to keep this a 6-4 lead. Mark Benetti and Adam Birch alongside you on ESPN Rapid City. Adam calling play-by-play for the Spearfish Sasquatch this summer in the Expedition League. Keel takes a look at the new man in scoring position, and his first pitch is too far inside for the liking of our umpire. 1-0 to Laux. The Spearfish catcher 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. Was also caught stealing as well. That was back in the bottom half of the 4th. Ball and no strikes to count from Keel. And now time is called by Laux. As a catcher, how frustrating was it in that pace battle? We were talking earlier. The pitcher tries to do that to throw the rhythm of the batter off, and then the batter calls time to throw the rhythm of the pitcher off. What's it like dealing with that?
It's very frustrating. You can tell by the look on the pitcher's face that they're a little frustrated with it too, but it's just the nature of the game. 1-0
is swung on and hit to short. Bowman barehands it, but he can't pick it up. Bowman fields it, though. Throw to third, and he got him. And that's going to end the inning. So an unfortunate base running error for Taylor Woods, who thought about going home. Instead, he's called out, and that's going to end the bottom half of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors. And it's still a 6-4 Hardhats lead going into the top of the 7th with the heart of the order due up. We'll keep Adam around for a couple innings longer and get ready for the top half of the 7th here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We have played 6 innings here at Black Hills Energy Stadium, my apologies. There was a brand change there. The outside still says Black Hills Power. The inside says Black Hills Energy Stadium. Adam, you're a young broadcaster. Make sure you know where you're calling the game from. Hardhats have a 6-4 lead as they go back to offense here in the top of the 7th over Spearfish. Numbers across the board through 6 for the Hardhats. It's 6 runs on 9 hits with no errors on defense. And for Spearfish, it's 4 runs on 4 hits and a pair of errors. By the way, Adam and I were also talking about it in the break. They actually ruled Parker Laux for an infield hit, and then it was the base running gaff that ended the inning. So Laux credited with the hit there to give them 4 runs on 4 hits. Hardhats start off with the cleanup hitter, Jace Caldwell, to start off. First baseman looks at his first pitch from now Taylor Janovi, and it misses the zone. 1-0. Caldwell on the ball game, 0 for 1. With a pair of sac fly RBIs, and he reached on an error. Looks at strike 1, and his count quickly even to 1-1. Janovi's next pitch skips low, and it's 2-1. Very quick pace here to Janovi on the mound.
Yeah, a lot different from post-22's pitcher.
Branson Keel likes to take his time, if you will. Laux gets a sign, and Janovi gets a sign and goes right to it. And his next pitch is low and inside to Caldwell. Ball 3. It's now 3-1 to the Hardhats first baseman. Again, pair of sac fly RBIs and reached on an error. And the next pitch, a called strike at the inside corner. And all of a sudden, the count goes full. Caldwell, Sorensen, and Jackson due up in this inning. Janovi payoff pitch. Swung on, and the ball's hit right back to him. Janovi an easy scoop, and the toss to first is in time. That'll be a 1-3 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats, and that brings up the DH, Jack Sorensen. Sorensen 2 for 3. Pair of singles, pair of RBI singles, actually. And he also hit into an inning-ending double play to end the top half of the third. First pitch from Janovi. Hits him. And Sorensen will take a free pass. So a man on and 1 out will bring up Holden Jackson. And as a catcher, obviously, you're right in the line of fire there. Is it something, you look at the different levels of baseball, is it me, or is there an uncharacteristic amount of hit by pitches, particularly at this level?
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that happens, but it's just part of the game, and yeah.
We've commented it over the years that number just seems to skyrocket as the years go on. And you played Legion ball, so you've been in the heat of that battle.
Oh yeah, I've been hit a couple of times. Don't rub any dirt on that.
Well, you are a very large target, so you can't blame the pitcher, right? First pitch is swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to right field. And the ball is caught by Zach Kozel, so Holden Jackson retired. F9 in the book still with a man on first, now 2 outs. And that'll bring us to Ryan Schmidt, the catcher, looking for his first hit of the ball game. He's 0 for 3. I didn't mean to make it sound like as if I was calling you fat. You are just very tall. There's a lot to throw at.
Yes.
First pitch rides too far inside for Ryan Schmidt, 1-0. Adam Birch with us. He's calling play-by-play for the Spearfish Sasquatch College summer team this summer with the Expedition League. 1-0. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, third base side. Coming in from third is Glassford, and the ball drops. Gusso also tried to make a play on it as well. He rotated to the shortstop position. And so the ball drops. Schmidt gets a free life. 1-1 now the count. So where did you play Legion baseball when you were coming up through the ranks?
I actually had to drive 45 miles to play Legion ball up in Redfield.
Wow.
Yeah, that's love of the game.
Way to give yourself credit. Check to first. Sorensen's back. But you're absolutely right, though. I mean, that was the closest Legion program to you. That let you play, so you had to give it a shot.
Yeah, no, it was well worth it. 1 year with the team. We made the state tournament and had a nice showing.
1-1 pitch to Schmidt's a called strike. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. As Taylor Janovi looks to end the inning. Sorensen takes a lead off of first. Check to first isn't there. Was there any prospect of possibly playing in college or trying to elevate your game past American Legion?
Not a lot. I didn't have a bat to begin with, and yeah, catching and just wasn't going to hold me up through college. And
1-2 misses low and away. 2-2 the count.
And Black Hills State doesn't have a baseball team, so that's kind of disappointing. But
USD though, maybe. Just a thought. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's
put it this way: you picked a good college, and you picked a good place to stay.
Yes.
2-2 pitch is a check swing. Did he go? They're saying he went. The infield umpire from behind the mound says he went. Interesting perspective to make that call, but that'll do it. So Janovy gets his second strikeout in relief, and that'll end the top half of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man left on base for the Hardhats. 6.5 in the books. Everybody go ahead and get up and stretch while you have 30 seconds to. The Hardhats have a 6-4 lead that they look to protect in the bottom half of the 7th. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, it looks like we have a changing of the guard on the mound for post 22. Branson Keel is now out of the game after 2 innings of relief. He's now going to give way to center fielder, now turned relief pitcher, Connor King, which now leads us to ask the question with zero resource, particularly to help us out. Who in the wide world of sports is playing in center field now?
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm not having too much luck seeing license plates, although I think I'm going to make a guess. If I saw what I did see out in right field, that looks like an 18. I think Alex Weaver's still out there. I thought for a moment that Zach Sumption was going to come into the game and play some outfield. He's been primarily the Hardhats right fielder this season. Wouldn't be surprised to see him come. So we just need to figure out who is the mystery man in center. And it is Zach Sumption. We have some help from the post-22 parent squad. They get a big assist on ESPN Rapid City here tonight. So if I had to be a betting man, I'd say Weaver moved to center and Sumption's playing in right. And now Connor King is on the mound, and he will take on the heart of the order for Spearfish, starting off with Connor Glassford, the third baseman. First pitch from the lefty. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to center. And charging to make the play is Zach Sumption. So an F8 in the book. 1 up, 1 down. And that is going to bring us to Zach Kozel, the right fielder. Mark Benetti and Adam Birch alongside you on ESPN Rapid City. 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Connor King throws his first pitch to Kozel, and that's high and away. With Kozel showing bunt, 1-0 the count. Could you at least bunt?
Yes.
You could? Okay, there you go. So you could drop down the bunt if you were called upon to.
Very good bunter.
Nice. 1-0. That skips low. 2 balls, no strikes now the count to Kozel. Kozel is 1 for 2 with an RBI single, a strikeout, and a walk. Pretty much done just about everything in this ballgame. That, I think, is such an underrated part of baseball, is the bunt, because playing small ball in a tight game late, you never know where that can take you.
I agree.
Next pitch is a comebacker that whizzes by King and goes into center for a base hit. So Kozel gets his second hit of the ballgame as he hits a 1-out single. That'll bring us to Josh Johnson now in the game, playing at third base. So Glassford must have moved to short. And Josh Johnson is now in the ballgame. King, the lefty, looks at first and he deals. First pitch that skips to the backstop. And Kozel is going to take second on the pass ball. 1-0 his count. Josh Johnson, that is, takes over for Drew Gusso, who ended up going 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts and a walk. Johnson in his batting spot to play third base. King takes a look at second, and the 1-0 is outside. 2 balls, no strikes to count. I wish they had taught more softball at this small ball at this level, because again, you and I were just talking how underrated it is.
It is, and you never know when you need to advance a runner or just get on base.
2-0, swung on it. It's pushed to first. That looks like a fair ball. And Caldwell's going to get the easy play there at first. Advancing to third is Kozel, though. That'll be 3 unassisted to move the runner. 2 down with a man 90 feet from scoring. That's going to bring up Cameron Cook, the first baseman.
Kind of a swinging bunt.
Yeah, swinging bunt, right. I could hit plenty of those. 0 for 2 is Cook in this game. And his first pitch from King swung on and missed. Fastball right down the middle, and it's 0-1. Cook also earned a walk in this ball game, too. He's behind 0-1. Bottom of the 7th, the Hardhats have a 6-4 lead. They're looking to keep it that way over Spearfish. 2 outs and a man on third, and the next pitch is breaking pitch inside. 0-2, that looked like a great two-seamer there.
That's some nice movement on it.
So no balls, 2 strikes the count to Cameron Cook. And the 0-2 from King. Breaking ball outside. 1-2. What's it like watching a breaking pitch come in from the catcher perspective?
Oh man, it's kind of spooks you a little bit, but you just got to be ready for it, and especially when it's in the dirt.
Right. Here comes the 1-2 from King. Just missed low. Fastball, 2-2. Because, I mean, you look at breaking pitches from the perspective we have as broadcasters, and it looks so majestic. So I was just wondering what it looked like from the catching perspective.
Oh, yeah.
2-2 is too far inside. And now the count goes full here to Cook. He has a man on third to work with, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. It is a 6-4 Hardhats lead. Looking to get the job done here against Spearfish. Payoff pitch from King. Caught him looking. No, it's a walk. I thought he caught the outside part of the plate. Instead, it is a walk. With 2 outs, now men on the corners, and that'll bring us to Logan Ammerman. Tad bit shocked there. As a former catcher, you're nodding your head in approval.
Yeah. Definitely try to frame those pitches.
And now here comes the lefty, Logan Ammerman. Lefty on lefty matchup here. King looks on the corners. First pitch is fouled. And 0-1 now the count here to Ammerman. No balls and a strike the count. Ammerman 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a walk as well. Grounded out to end an inning. Connor King checks down the runner at first. That was Cook, and he comes back. So now the go-ahead run at the plate. Tying run is on first. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball, called strike. What a beautiful pitch that was, 0-2.
Oh, yeah, and it came inside and came right back over the plate.
No balls, 2 strikes the count. King looking for a massive punch out to end the threat. And here comes the 0-2. Swung out and missed, strike 3, and that's going to do it. His first strikeout in relief. Ends the bottom half of the 7th. No runs on a hit with no errors charged to the Hardhats. 2 men left on the base path, 190 feet from home. And at the end of 7 innings of play, Post 22 6-4 lead is still intact. Top of the 8th, and 8-9-1 due up for the Hardhats. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Tyler McKnight is going to lead off the top half of the 8th for the Hardhats. Hardhats have a 6-4 lead on 9 hits with no errors, and it's Spearfish with 5 hits and a pair of errors. First pitch to McKnight, swung on, hit high in the air to right center field. Both outfielders chasing in the vicinity, and from center to make the catch is Taylor Woods. So McKnight flies out on his first pitch, made some great contact. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on offense here in the top of the 8th, and that will bring us to Carter Deming, the second baseman. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We're joined with the voice of the Spearfish Sasquatch, Adam Birch, as well. He's my intern during the hockey season with the Rush. First pitch to Deming, swung on and hit to short. Stop made on the play, and the throw to first is in time, as taking over at short was Glassford. So 2 pitches, 2 down. That's going to bring us to the top of the order to Cooper Bowman, and we might see something here on the next pitch that I have never seen in my life. Do you know what an immaculate inning is? 3 pitches, 3 outs, and you're done.
That would be something.
That would be something. Although Cooper Bowman, I mean, he's 3 for 3 with a walk and 4 runs scored, so good luck. See what Janovi does on the mound. His first pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to center field. Charging in from center is Taylor Woods. He makes the catch, and I can't believe it. We just saw an immaculate inning. An immaculate inning for Taylor Janovi, and that ends the top half of the 8th. 3 pitches, 3 up, 3 down. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. Well, he couldn't really get you to say much in that half inning, so we'll let you talk a little more in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back with that in 30 seconds here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, that was a very quick half inning, wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah. 3 pitches? Wow.
3 pitches, 3 up, 3 down. See, that's a term you can use when the Sasquatch do that this summer. The immaculate inning. Adam Birch will be calling play-by-play for the Sasquatch. So when is the home opener? When is your first broadcast?
The home opener is slated for May 25th.
Oof, May 25th. And who is the first opponent that you will be calling?
The Source Valley Saberdogs.
Source Valley Saberdogs. Wow, that's a mouthful there.
Oh, yeah. By Minot.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of this league. Like, all the teams, I think, are fairly close together. It's not like you're making a trek.
Right.
Well, until the league expands to Canada, that they want to.
Yeah.
Connor King back on the mound, and his first pitch, dealt to Taylor Woods, is a swing and a miss. 0-1 the count here for Woods, who is 0 for 1 with an RBI walk, a hit by pitch, and a backwards K in the book. 0-1 pitch is low and inside, and the count quickly evens up at a ball and a strike. So the unfortunate part, though, of this job, you don't get to travel, so you're only calling home games.
Right, and yeah, the team travels basically like a major league team, and yeah, they're all over.
Next pitch from King, skips inside, 2 balls and a strike the count. I took a look at that schedule when it first came out. I don't know the specifics nearly as much as you do, but there's, what, 3 days off for these poor kids, if that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a ton of baseball in such a short amount of time. 2-1 from King to Woods is fouled off, so now Woods has a 2-2 count. He leads off, followed by the top of the order, Janovi, the now relief pitcher, and Cody Garnis out in left field. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. Full windup for King, and he deals. Swung on, ball's hit right up the middle. Deming tries to field it from second. He gets there. Throw to first is off track. I think they're going to call that one an infield single. That would have been a very close play either way because the ball was hit right up the middle, and Deming had to cover almost a football field to field it.
Yeah, well, it was a good play to just stop the ball, and it wasn't able to get the out, but good stop either way.
Carter Deming showing off some good defensive range there. So the leadoff man's on with the infield hit. And that will now bring us to the top of the order to Taylor Janovi. He shows bunt. He drops it. Coming into field from behind home is Schmidt. Throw to first in time. So a 1-3 sacrifice bunt for Taylor Janovi very well executed. We were just talking about how much of a factor small ball can play. So now there's one down here in the bottom of the 8th. Spearfish still trails by 2 with a man in scoring position. That brings us to Cody Garnis. And you understand if you're Spearfish, now you've got 5 offensive outs left in this game. If you can even get 1 here, your job's that much easier in the 9th.
Yeah, exactly.
So now King looks into Garnis. And his first pitch is low and inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Garnis, who's 1 for 4, has struck out in consecutive at-bats, has a single as well and a run scored, along with a stolen base. Quite a full box score for that gentleman. King will look to second. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, ball is hit to second. Deming comes in for the easy scoop, and the throw to first is in time. So Taylor Woods advances to third in the sequence. 4-3 in the book. 2 down now for Garnis, and that is going to bring us to Parker Laux, the catcher. And Spearfish really needs a 2-out hit here or something to happen to drive in Taylor Woods.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity for the catcher here, and see if he gets it done.
2 outs and a man 90 feet from home. And the first pitch to Laux is at his letters, ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Laux, who is 1 for 2, reached on an infield single, but then a base running gaff ended the inning in his at-bat. Also has a pair of walks in this game, too. Full windup for King, and the 1-0 is a called strike on a breaking pitch at his knees, and it's 1-1. 6-4 is the Hardhats lead. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Only a man on third here for Laux to work with. King trying to get out, and the 1-1 is outside, 2 balls and a strike. What are you looking forward to most about baseball play-by-play as opposed to the hockey commentary you did this year?
Well, it's just a lot slower game and a lot of fill time, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of baseball, and I know the sport a lot better than hockey.
Pitch is fouled by Laux behind home plate, 2-2 now the count. But I do have to credit you. You learned a ton this season, and you were able to execute upon that knowledge, so well played on your part.
Well, thank you.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count here to Laux. King trying to get out of the jam. And the pitch is just inside. Laux is saying it hit him on the leg, but we don't have a signal from the umpire. Looked very close from up here, and the count goes full. What'd you think?
I don't know if he tried to lean into it at all, but it was close.
And payoff pitch is ball 4. That missed low. So a 2-out walk issued to Laux, and the inning keeps going now with men on the corners and 2 outs. Hardhats with a 2-run lead. That'll bring us to Connor Glassford, who moved over to the shortstop position when Janovi came in to pitch.
Looks like we have a pinch runner, too.
And we do, that's right. We're going to have to catch a license plate here in a bit. So Laux with a pinch runner. The tying run is aboard, so right now Glassford's the go-ahead run. Here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 outs, men on the corners, and time is called. A pinch runner on first. On third is Taylor Woods. Woods the most immediate threat on the base path. King takes a look at our new mystery runner, and the first pitch is low. Schmidt comes up with the block, and it's 1-0 here to Glassford. Glassford is 0 for 2, a sac fly RBI, a walk, a run scored, a strikeout, and a flyout. Ball and no strikes to count here to Glassford, the now shortstop for Spearfish. King takes his time and checks to first. It's not there in time. Got to be mindful of the gentleman on third there as well. Looks like the pinch runner is David Zacher, number 2. We'll see if he comes in to catch. And another check to first, not there in time. And again, with as many checks to first, King has the advantage being a lefty. He's looking at the bag, but he's got to watch out for that gentleman on third there.
Right, always got to keep an eye on every single base runner, especially in this situation.
Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, ball is hit to short. Bowman comes in to charge and field it. On the run, throw to first, in time! And that is going to end the threat. Cooper Bowman with a spectacular play from short to strand 2 men on the base path, including the tying run, and 1 man in scoring position. No runs scored, no hits, no errors charged to the Hardhats. Men left on the corners. We have played 8 innings of baseball. The final inning of regulation coming up, and the Hardhats are looking to get some more insurance runs on top of their 6-4 lead. We'll be right back with the top half of the ninth here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. We've played 8 innings, but 9 is a full game. And right now, in our final inning of regulation, the Hardhats are looking to hang on to what is a 6-4 lead here at Black Hills Energy Stadium in Spearfish, South Dakota. With Adam Birch, the voice of the Spearfish Sasquatch, this is Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM and 1340 AM on your radios and on your internet video streams on Hardhats-TV. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats, 6 runs on 9 hits with no errors. And for Spearfish, it's 4 runs on 6 hits with a pair of errors. Connor King, the starting center fielder, now turned relief pitcher, is the leadoff man this inning. And the first pitch he sees from Taylor Janovi is high and outside for ball 1. King in the ball game is 2 for 4. Reached on an error, doubled, singled, and flew out to left. His next pitch, a called strike, and quickly he's tied up at a 1-1 count. Janovi, the right-handed pitcher, coming in from shortstop to relieve. Next pitch is swung on, and it's drilled to first. Easy play made there by Cook. He taps the bag. 3-U in the book. 1 up, 1 down brings us to Alex Weaver, the right fielder. So you've been here for pretty much the entire game. What have you seen so far? What do you like?
Yeah, both teams are kind of struggling to get runners in, and
first pitch to Weaver misses low for ball 1.
Definitely been able to put more bat on ball for post 22. They have 9 hits versus Spearfish's 6.
Weaver fouls the next one, and his count evens up at a ball and a strike.
But yeah, pretty close game up until this point, and Spearfish has battled back and made it a ball game.
6-4 is the Hardhats lead, looking on their last chance of offense to provide some. Weaver, next pitch hits him on a 1-1 count, so that's a free pass. A man on with 1 out here in the top of the 9th will now bring us to Jace Caldwell, the first baseman. And we talked about how those small miscues can really come back to bite you, and if you're Spearfish, you're down 2. You need every break you can get, and that's certainly not helping.
Yeah, you can't allow this runner to get in. You got to put up a 0 here in the top of the 9th.
Caldwell's first pitch is fouled. He starts off 0-1. Caldwell on the ball game is 0 for 2. A pair of sacrifice flies, Sacaribi RBIs, and reached down an error, grounded out right to the pitcher. So he's contributed at least a third of the Hardhats offense. His next pitch rides too far inside, and his count evens up at a ball and a strike. Double play ends the inning. That's the only silver lining here for Spearfish, with Weaver getting the hit by pitch. 1-1, swung on, ball's hit high in the air. That is going to drop into shallow left for a base hit. Glassford comes in from shortstop to field it. And so that is a bloop single there for Caldwell. Men on first and second now with just 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Hardhats with a 2-run lead with 2 men on. That'll bring up the DH, Jack Sorensen.
Yeah, you know what they say, a bloop and a blast can break up a game, and boy, Hardhats have an opportunity here.
First pitch is too far inside. Actually, that is Zach Sumption, my apologies. That was the gentleman that came in to play the outfield. Jack Sorensen launched the DH spot when they put in Connor King. Sumption's next pitch is hit into left for a base hit. Rounding third and scoring is Alex Weaver. Now a 1-out single for Zach Sumption, pinch hitting and playing in the outfield. And the Hardhats now have a 7-4 lead with 1 out and 2 men on here in the top of the 9th. And the worst fears now came to real life. That hit by pitch ended up coming across.
Yeah, a big miscue, and Spearfish wasn't able to get out of the leadoff runner. 1-out runner, I should say.
Holden Jackson's first pitch is hit to deep right. Underneath it to make the play is Kozel, and now tagging up from second is Caldwell to go to third. So there's a big second out there for Spearfish on an F9. 2 down, and Caldwell advances to third base. Now men on the corners with 2 outs to bring up Ryan Schmidt, the catcher. Pretty productive at bat for Jackson. Obviously he's out, but you still move the runner 90 feet closer. And look, the Hardhats now a 3-run lead. Better to defend than a 2-run lead. So 90 feet away, potentially a 4-run advantage.
Every run counts in baseball, and it's still a good opportunity.
First pitch from Janovic, swung on, ball's hit right up the middle. Stop is made on the play at second. That was Ammerman. He gets the toss to Glassford covering it short to get the easy play, and the 4-6 fielder's choice ends the top half of the ninth. Well, the Hardhats played a run on a pair of hits with no errors charged to Spearfish. 2 men left on the base path, 190 feet from home. The Hardhats are 3 outs away from a 5-0 season start, and Connor King, I believe, will potentially come onto the mound. Or no, they're going to make a switch out here. Cooper Bowman is going to close out this ball game, moving in from short. So we'll take a quick breather and come back with that and more here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, we have another changing of the guard, if you will, for post 22. Connor King's relief appearance is over, and coming in from the shortstop position is Cooper Bowman to take over for the Hardhats. Cooper Bowman getting his first innings this season. Didn't have any last year. So this is the first time in quite some time that Bowman has pitched. And in at shortstop now is Matt Heggery. So Heggery in as a defensive substitution. And I believe Connor King has left the ball game too, so he would take over where Connor King's batting position is should Spearfish score 3 runs, and he'd have to come up. So Matt Heggery will take over there at the shortstop position. Cooper Bowman on the mound will take on 5, 6, and 7 in the order for Spearfish. We'll give you a pitching recap here in just a few moments on the Hardhats. Starting off is Zach Kozel. He is the right fielder. Cooper Bowman, for the first time in years, on the mound, and his first pitch swung on and fouled. And he's behind 0-1 to Bowman. Kozel on the ball game is 2 for 3. Pair of singles, an RBI, a run scored, a strikeout, and a walk. Fairly complete game from that gentleman. Here comes the 0-1 from Bowman. And that missed low and away. Ball and a strike now the count. Man, we have no real time to talk. Bowman's ready to go the second he gets the ball back. 1-1, swung on and missed. Good velocity from Bowman early, and it's 1-2. And well, you got to expect good velocity. He has to have an arm to play short.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
Ball and 2 strikes to count, and Bowman deals. Just missed. And the count evens up 2-2.
You could tell Bowman was a little indecisive about that call.
2-2 now. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Cooper Bowman starts it off with a strikeout. Here in the bottom of the ninth, the Hardhats 2 outs away from a 5-0 start to the season. And that will bring us to Josh Johnson now playing at third base for the Spearfish.
That was a sure thing.
That one was a sure one, yes. Swing and a miss, the easiest strike to call. First pitch from Bowman to Johnson. Misses the zone, 1-0. He can do it all. You've seen him field, you've seen him hit. Now you can see him pitch. 1-0 to Johnson. And that's a called strike at his knees. Count evens up at 1-1. Johnson came in to bat for Gusso, who was removed from the game after his start on the mound. And he grounded out 3 unassisted to first. 1-1 pitch, check swing, and he went. 1-2 the count. That's also something that'll catch up to you when you check swing and you're indecisive on that check swing. That's just a bad spot to be in.
Oh yeah, you got to commit as a batter.
1-2 pitch. Swung on it, just foul. That was another check swing. And the count holds to 1-2.
Very hard to see that ball, and obviously he's a little indecisive.
So ball and 2 strikes to count. Only a handful of pitches here from Bowman, but obviously his velocity sticks out. And as we mentioned, he has to have that arm to play the shortstop position. What else are you seeing from him in the handful of pitches we've seen?
Just very quick pace, and he likes to dominate the game, and he's doing that as a pitcher as well.
Anything about his movement in particular? Do you like his pitch selection? Have you seen any variety there?
Not a whole lot. Just mainly straight fastballs, and he's doing pretty well, though.
Ball and 2 strikes to count. Let's see if it gets him his second K. 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3 on the inside corner. A forwards K and a backwards K. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats, and out away from a 5-0 start. And the last hope of Spearfish is Cameron Cook.
That one looked like it had some movement on it.
That was a fantastically placed pitch. So Cook comes in 0 for 2 and a pair of walks, and he looks at a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count here to Cook. Flew out to center in the second, struck out in the third, walked in the fifth, walked in the seventh. Last out for Spearfish here in the bottom of the ninth. The Hardhats with a 7-4 lead. 0-1. Called strike. Fastball at the knees inside, and it's 0-2. And Bowman looking for 3 Ks to end it. How boring would that be for the defense? 0-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3, and that's going to do it. And the Hardhats have a 5-0 start under their belt. 7-4 after 9 innings of play. Well, Adam, it was a blast to have you on. We were joined by Adam Birch of the Spearfish Sasquatch the last couple of innings of regulation. Blast to have you on. Thanks for stopping by, and best of luck with the Sasquatch this summer.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I look forward to calling the Sasquatch games later this month.
And you said you could find the games on Black Hills State Radio. Where else can we find them at?
The Expedition League will have a streaming service. I don't know exactly what that's called right at the moment, but yeah, you can pay a little bit of a fee and catch the games that way.
Well, thanks so much again for joining us, Adam. Folks, that'll do it for our regulation broadcast. A full 9 innings in the books, and the Hardhats take the win over Spearfish. The final score, 7-4 after 9 innings of play. We'll step aside for a brief moment and come right back with your post-game show and recap here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. 9 innings of regulation were necessary for the Hard Hats to get their 5th win in 5 games this season, now improving to 4-0 on the road as well. Final score after 9 innings was the Hard Hats 7 and Spearfish 4. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight, and thank you so much as well for your patience, folks. I know it was tough getting us on the air with all the technical difficulties we had, but we got the job done thanks to our tech support guys back at ESPN Rapid City. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City from Black Hills Energy Stadium in Spearfish. Again, the final score after 9 innings, the Hard Hats take a 7-4 victory over Spearfish. When we did get things up and running, we were broadcasting on 105.7 FM and 1340 AM on the radio, and we were also on Hardhats-TV as well. And I apologize if that broadcast sounded a tad bit choppy. I was trying to call a game while dealing with technical difficulties, and that was not the easiest thing to do. But special thanks to Ian Rambo back at ESPN Rapid City for helping us get on the air and rocking and rolling. Well, by the time we did get on the air, it was around the 4th inning. And everybody had missed a ton at that point because the Hard Hats had started off the game with a 2-1 lead after 1 inning, thanks to Cooper Bowman and Connor King getting on the base path. Cooper Bowman had one heck of a ball game under his belt. He started off with a single, came around to score. Shortly after he got on the base path, Connor King, who later came in the game to pitch, reached on an error. He also came around to score. So the Hard Hats did so well in the leadoff position in this ball game that it drove them to a ton of their success. And so the Hard Hats start off with a 2-1 lead, but unfortunately couldn't get anything really moving after that for a decent bit until a late error ended up helping them out. So the Hard Hats we're up 2-1, and then we get to the 3rd inning. They add another run thanks to Cooper Bowman leading off with another single and coming around to score. But then Spearfish countered with 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, and everybody got a chance to see the batter's box in that bottom of the 3rd. RBI single, another 3, Spearfish 5th, and that's pass ball scoring position. He finds his way to 2nd. Jace Caldwell hits a ball to short. Looks like a routine 6-3 put out, ends the inning, and it doesn't. The throw to first got there. The first baseman, Connor Cook, dropped the ball. Just took his focus off his glove for even a fraction of a second, dropped the ball. That brought Cooper Bowman to 3rd, and then Jack Sorensen, first pitch he sees, rips it into right, base hit, and now the Hard Hats tie the ball game up. The next inning, the Hard Hats end up riding some momentum on 2 outs. Carter Deming singles to get on. Cooper Bowman RBI singles to knock him in after Deming stole 2nd to get himself in scoring position. Then Connor King hit an RBI single to knock in Cooper Bowman, and all of a sudden you've got a 6-4 ball game and the Hard Hats have the lead. And at that point, they wouldn't relinquish it. The relief pitchers of Brancy Keel, Connor King, and Cooper Bowman all coming in locked down and got the job done. And that was all she wrote after 9 innings of play. The Hard Hats added 1 more in the top of the 9th to seal the deal. 7-4 was the final score. Cooper Bowman, if we gave out the Player of the Game award, no ifs, ands, or buts, he was the Player of the Game. On the night, he went 3 for 4, a trio of singles, an RBI, 4 runs scored, and then he came out in relief and pitched a perfect inning of relief, 1, 2, 3 on 3 strikeouts. A forwards K and 2 backwards Ks, so he caught the last 2 guys looking, which that's a horrible way to end a ball game on a strikeout looking. Bad enough a strikeout, but one where you didn't even attempt to swing at the ball. A very unfortunate way to end it. But, yeah, if we still gave out the Player of the Game / MVP award, it's Cooper Bowman 100%. Another talking point of the game as well was the Hard Hats starting pitching. Zach Cholis, he couldn't get past 2 innings, and this was his first start coming back to the Hard Hats roster. But both he and Jake Goebel ended up combining for 96 pitches in 4 innings. Not the greatest pitches per inning average when you really break the math down. At 96 into 4, that's 24 pitches an inning for 2 gentlemen over the course of 4 innings. So, but then you look at the rest of the Hard Hats lineup, and Branson Keel, Connor King, and Cooper Bowman all ended up combining for 80 pitches in the last 5 innings of play. And that's a much better average at 16 pitches per inning. The healthy stretches, you'd like to average about 10, but if you can get to about 15, 16 inch, that's still not terrible. That's a good pace to be pitching on. So the last 3 pitchers ended up going on 16 pitches per inning with the first 2. It took 8 more on average per inning to get the job done. Bottom line is, though, good teams still find ways to win. Hardhats found a way to win, and they got it done 7-4 the final after 9 innings. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats. It was 7 runs on 11 hits. Biggest statistic for me, not a single error on defense. So this is the first error-free game the Hardhats had this season. For Spearfish, it was 4 runs on 6 hits with a pair of errors, and that second and final one ended up costing them, I believe, cost them the game. Even though it was at the midway point, the bottom of the 5th, Spearfish had the lead, squandered the lead because of the error that could have ended the inning, but it didn't, and then the Hardhats ended up grabbing the lead shortly after that. Branson Keel gets the win in relief. He's 1-0 on the season. Drew Gusso got the loss for Spearfish, and Cooper Bowman, because it was in 3 runs in the last inning, got the save. 3 batters, 3 strikeouts, and that was all she wrote after that. Thanks again so much for joining us tonight, folks. Our next game is this weekend. It is the start of a 4-game series in Billings, Montana. The Hardhats will take on the Scarlets and the Royals in a pair of 7-inning matchups starting at 5:30 in Billings on Saturday, May 12th, and then May 13th, they'll take on the Billings Scarlets once again, and then the Missoula Mavericks out of Missoula, Montana, another pair of 7-inning matchups, and that doubleheader will start at 10 in the morning, also from Billings. You can catch all 4 of those games on ESPN Rapid City on 105.7 FM, as well as on Hardhats-TV. And on 1340 AM as well. We can't forget our other terrestrial radio station. So you can catch us all there. Our coverage will roughly begin about 10 minutes before the doubleheader starts. We'll take a quick recess in between games and then catch you up to speed on any lineup changes and the change of opponent as well. Thank you so much again for sticking with us and being patient with us tonight, folks, as well as tuning into the remainder of the broadcast. Hardhats win 7-4, 5-0 start for all of us with the Post 22 organization, from General Manager Wayne and crew, as well as our friends at ESPN.